Across the time, across the space, hidden in the wilderness of unending seas, lies an experience. A sky where the sun paints the dreams. A land witnessed a vast history and mystery. A nation that breathes to life with the blessings of Buddha. Sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. What comes to your mind when you start wondering what Sri Lanka is all about? Is it an exotic destination to go on vacation, or a mysterious island that until 1972 was known as Ceylon? You'll be surprised to see how many things about this country you can recognize and love already. If you drink tea, you've definitely heard of famous Ceylon tea that comes from Sri Lanka. Do you use cinnamon as an ingredient in your kitchen to spice up an apple pie during the holiday season? It's also grown here, just as many other most delicious and healthiest spices on the planet. Do you know that Sri Lanka is the 5th largest producer of coconut in the world? Some of most precious gemstones such as yellow and blue Ceylon sapphires, rubies and topazes are cut and polished in Sri Lanka. Lots of popular brands of clothes you may wear are made in Sri Lanka too. The 8th wonder of the world, the one and only Sigiriya Rock Fortress, is also here in this magnificent island. Sri Lanka is one of the kind biodiverse country that has an astonishing variety of flora and fauna for its size. It's the only place on earth where just in one day you can see glorious blue whales and the elephants, the largest animals on land. I am Anna Leonti, a journalist, personal branding strategist, and a typical overscheduled New Yorker. Welcome to join my sacred travel experience through the fascinating land of Sri Lanka.
Amma palla bamarun atha නැති කැලේ තියෙන මල් කාලා
Sri Lanka is quite a small island in the Indian Ocean, roughly 25,000 square miles or 65,000 square kilometers, which is less than the size of Ireland. You can travel through the different weather within a day as all places are really close. It could be gloomy and rainy in one part of the island and gorgeous on the other. Here, you can truly feel the magnificent sense of nature. The train ride from Colombo up into the tea plantations of central Sri Lanka is one of most scenic and epic train journeys ever. The greatest pleasure of riding a classic train in Sri Lanka is the journey itself. It's an extraordinary way to discover life outside the comfort of your hotel, to really visit the country and connect with the authentic. I always wanted to travel hanging on a train door while savoring unobstructed views of stunning landscapes, tea plantations, colonial era hill stations, villages, and lush green mountains. Sri Lanka is famous for being home of Ceylon tea, highly acclaimed and the finest of all others, the number one choice of tea lovers.
Terrific. That's the tea. Yeah, that's the real tea.
It is acknowledged to be the cleanest tea on the planet, free from harmful pesticides and additives. To make tea, the leaves are hand-plucked by women who work at tea plantations. They pick only 2 leaves and a bud in large quantities, which then are rolled, fermented, dried, and sifted. Drinking tea is almost a meditation, and making it is definitely an art. In Sri Lanka, I discovered my new favorite kind of tea. It's called kahata, delicious, aromatic, and well-balanced. And when you're thirsty, just drink fresh juice from king coconut. It's enriched with antioxidants and potassium and has the highest number of electrolytes in water. What's better to have on a hot sunny day at the beach? Sri Lankans refer to the coconut tree as the tree of life. The crystal clear virgin oil that comes from it is a long-term solution to basically anything and works wonders on your skin and hair. Coconut milk straight from a real coconut adds creamy and delicious taste to any meal. The sap of coconut palm is widely used to make arak, toddy, and treacle. The distinctive aroma and the character of Ceylon cinnamon have enriched world's most delicious cuisines with its amazing flavor. Cinnamonum verum, also known as true cinnamon tree, is native to Sri Lanka. It is grown here in abundance, keeping the tradition of cinnamon cultivation alive. The spice itself is made from fresh inner barks of the cinnamon tree. The skillful cultivators loosen the inner barks of the branches by rubbing a brass rod. Then they delicately peel off the long, thin, and unbroken quills of cinnamon from the branches. After the drying process, first in the shade and then in the dark, these quills are cut into the sticks, or become a flavorful powder with deep and rich taste of famous Ceylon cinnamon. Sri Lanka produces some of most nutritious and delicious fruits and vegetables on earth: mangoes, bananas, pineapples, papaya, guava, passion fruit, oranges, mangosteen, and wood apple. Here, I've expanded my knowledge of unique exotic fruits and vegetables that I've never heard of before. This tropical island is truly a paradise for foodies to dazzle and enrich your taste buds with millions of flavors.
ගම්බර අපි නෙළුමට යනකොට ඊස්දේ ලේක්නේල වෙයිතානා.
With its rich natural heritage, Sri Lanka has always been an ideal region for organic agriculture. The soil rich in minerals, all year-round warm tropical climate, and an optimum amount of healthy rainfall are perfect to grow almost anything. Sri Lankans are very smart and experienced with the irrigation system. For thousands of years, they were placing tanks and reservoirs throughout the country to ensure a steady flow of water. I was savoring the views of seemingly endless miles of heavenly green farming rice fields. The scenery is so beautiful, like it's in the painting. I found Sri Lankan people to be very friendly, warm and welcoming. When you meet Sri Lankan, they bow to you and say Ayubowan, which means may your life be long, blessed and prosperous. This is the only word I can never forget as it contains so much peace and love. Traditionally in Sri Lanka, women are homemakers and the queens of the kitchen because cooking equals properly caring for your household. Each day, mothers and grandmothers in the neighborhood get together to prepare a wide variety of food for lunch. It's a very happy place where you can find a lot of joy, love, and gossip. These women are master chefs of their homes. Each process takes time and careful planning. Spices must be blended together using mortar and pestle. Coconut has to be plucked from the palm tree, then cut and grated. The man of the family plucks a young jackfruit and a mother decides to make a savory curry out of it. It's cooked with lots of spices and herbs: cinnamon, cardamom, tamarind leaves, curry leaves, red chilies, green chilies, and tomatoes. Children bring herbal leaves called maguna from the fields. If you mince and mix them with fresh coconut and onions, you'll end up with herbal salad. Cooking in a clay oven has a number of advantages, preserving the health of people and the planet. It was used for centuries and it's still the best method to make extremely tasty dishes. And I felt right at home cooking with them because in Sri Lanka, a woman who gives you her food gives you her heart. I have no idea why, but each time I see Sri Lankan people eating rice with their hands, they seem to enjoy it more. It makes you realize how tasty your food really is. I can't forget the taste of coconut roti. Roti is a kind of a flatbread made with a heated mixture of coconut, flour, onions, and green chilies served on a hot plate. If you like your roti to come out perfectly, just use your fingers to press it well into the frying pan and cook it until it's golden brown and ready to eat. Coconut roti is always served with a fresh chili paste. It is very spicy and typically made from red onions, dry hot red chilies, pinch of salt, and a bit of lime juice.
It's heaven. A little hot and spicy, but just so fresh and so amazingly delicious.
එක් අතකින් මුහුදටත් අනෙක් අතින් විශාල නදියකටත් මැදි වූ අපේ ගම් පෙදෙස කුඩා බිම්තීරයකි. නදී තීරයද ඒ අසල වූ කැලෑරොදින් වැසුණු බිම් පෙදෙසද වෙරළද කවීන්ගේ සිත් ගන්නා කඳුහෙල් වනලැහැත් වලාකුළු යනාදී සුන්දර වස්තුන් මෙන් අපගේ සිත් ගත්තේය.
ඔයන්න
වචන පුළුවන්.
වචන පුළුවන් නේ. එහෙනම් අපි ලියමු ඕයන්න. මෙතන ඕයන්න.
ඔයන්ට කොඩියනේ.
ඔව්.
Just listening to the melodic intonation of conversation in Sinhalese language, which I don't understand, made me think that it's just as beautiful as this paradise island. The range of sounds that people can produce in Sinhala is very wide. This wonder language is also rich with an extensive vocabulary. It can explain in depth any subject, such as science, math, arithmetic, logic, or astrology, regardless of their complexity. The linguists claim that Sinhala is way ahead of most world languages with its advanced grammar system.
Hello from the children of planet Earth.
In 1977, NASA sent a Voyager spacecraft outside the solar system with a message of greeting and peace from the mankind to other civilizations in 55 languages, including Sinhalese. This message literally said,
Ayubowan.
Sinhala is an old language with great heritage dating back to 5th century BC. But a long time before the influence of Western culture to Sri Lanka, there was a long lost and incredibly advanced civilization in this country. The history of kingdoms is preserved in these ruins and inscriptions. Sri Lankans are the artists of constructing the stupa. Stupa is a structure that holds the holy relics of Buddha. People believe that these structures are capable to absorb, amplify, and expand the good energies of cosmos. The world's tallest structure of its kind, Jetavanaramma, is elevated at 400 feet, making it the third tallest building of the ancient world after the pyramids of Giza. The amount of engineering required to develop them is incredible, and most of the structures are made out of granite. The precision, aesthetics, and craftsmanship reveal the forgotten knowledge and technology hidden in the times of sand. Sandekadepahana, also known as Moonstone, is a great example of this. It's a unique feature to Sinhalese architecture of ancient Sri Lanka. These intricate details are carved into a single rock. The precision of this work is beyond belief. How did they even manage to construct them? These Buddha statues have been created on the bedrock itself, depicting different expressions of Buddha. During the entire long and complicated history of Sri Lanka, these impressive constructions helped Sinhalese Buddhist civilization to survive and revive when it was threatened by numerous invaders of ancient and medieval era. I had a unique chance to climb to the top of ancient, one of best preserved and most dramatic sites in South Asia, a rock fortress in the sky, Sigiriya. It's the eighth wonder of the world and perhaps the most amazing and puzzling engineering creation in the history of Sri Lanka. Being a UNESCO World Heritage, it is a reminder of how smart our ancestors have been. It is an incredible fortified palace on the summit of the giant rock, a living manifestation of glorious Sinhalese civilization, a unique combination of 5th century urban planning architecture, hydraulic engineering, garden landscape design, sculpture, art, poetry, and of course fresco paintings. There are large bathing ponds located at the top of this rock, carved into the rock themselves. They are still functioning today, thousands of years after they were created. How did they manage to get water up to the summit back then without modern technology? And they also had to drill this huge rock to do the plumbing. What's even more astonishing is that Sigiriya is an isolated rock in a dry valley, and where this water comes from is a mystery, even today. And then, in the depth of the jungle, in the dry lands, I found most precious hidden gem of Sri Lanka, a spectacular, evergreen, misty and legendary Ritigala Forest Reserve. The archaeologists were able to recreate once glorious ancient city with its hospitals, gardens, irrigation system, temples, palaces and numerous buildings entirely made of granite. These architectural gems reflect great attention to detail, engineering, construction, artistic insight, execution, and harmonious living with the nature. This hospital used to have stone herbal baths and various tools to make medicines. I could still see some pots of grinding stones that were used to prepare medical herbs. I was feeling like an explorer stumbling across once thriving ancient civilization, amazed at how much was there. And now it's gone. Witnessing these amazing structures, my perspective of the world history has dramatically changed. The energy and vibe of this place is unbelievable. I was walking with my bare feet and I could sense all beauty and power of Mother Earth. No more tall buildings, concrete streets, traffic and noise of everyday life. Instead, my lungs were filled with pure herbal essence from medical plants in the jungle. All plants are living medicines, highly complex and intelligent. That is why traditional Sinhalese life-saving medicine only uses plants, their extracts and oils to do the treatment. They seem to work very well to control different diseases, including diabetes, high cholesterol level, problems with skin, eyes, and the whole body. Sri Lanka has its own medicine and healing practice called Helawadakama. It is unique to native people and it was developed over the generations before the era of modern medical science. Its history goes back thousands of years. Traditional doctors in Sri Lanka use herbs for healing, paying respect to the wonders of our planet. They don't just make the symptoms of the disease disappear, but rather treat the cause of the problem. This doctor has been successfully practicing Sinhalese medicine his entire life. He took my pulse and gave me an examination without using any medical equipment at all. Everything the doctor told me was very accurate, and I was convinced. The doctor selected a special oil to pour on my body where he believed I needed it most. He started massaging this area with his strong fingers. First it was fine and my muscles were even relaxed. Then gradually, as my skin was absorbing the oils, I started feeling that something was definitely happening.
But this feels amazing. In my head, in my light, it feels so light. It feels sparkle. It sparkles in my eyes. But it's just like I am a baby again.
The doctor made me do some stretching exercises, and the next day, the effect was obvious. I felt that I was healed and filled with new, fresh energy, just like being born all over again in a new body. Now the doctor shares this knowledge with his children to pass it down to the future generations. They prepare oils for the treatments together. I've seen many different doctors from around the world, but I can honestly say nothing of my previous experience can be compared to that. It's incredible to think how much power comes from pure nature, so it could completely transform my physical and spiritual well-being. Just where the human trail ends, lush jungle becomes home to wild animals. This tiny island has an incredible diversity of fascinating flora and fauna. Leopards, elephants, monkeys, endemic and migrant birds, deer, crocodiles, and wild ox. The open ocean with tropical waters is paradise for whales, dolphins, and sea turtles. Here you can witness and admire the beauty of raw nature in undisturbed places like jungle or forest reserve. What a fantastic time I've spent with the monkeys. Such lovely and curious creatures enjoying a great view while eating their lunch and then swinging from one tree to another and teasing each other. All animals are like children and they need to play. I was hypnotized by looking at the dancing peacock gracefully spreading his beautiful tail. He opens his colorful feathers to attract a female to mate. Sri Lankan elephants are amazing creatures. They have an incredible memory, and their social behavior is quite similar to human beings. As real kings of the jungle, the elephants are very big and they have kind hearts. Yet, the elephants are notorious for violent rage when they are harassed, sick, or injured. It makes angry elephants some of most potentially dangerous animals on the planet. Wait for a while, and you can watch some spectacular scenes from their lives. Seeing an elephant in the wild so close that I could feel his breath, touch and play with him was astonishing. I fell in love. What struck me the most was real sincerity in his intelligent eyes. And I was so happy to run away into the wild, away from the big city, the concrete, the noise, computer screens, and civilization, to reconnect with the natural world and restore the real colors and sounds in my mind. Sri Lanka is a small universe where hardly a month goes without a unique celebration or colorful festival deeply rooted in the cultural tradition of this island. Perahara is probably most significant and unique feature of Sri Lanka. It's a cultural procession through the streets paying respect to the sacred tooth of Buddha. In this procession, the relic is carried by the decorated elephants. You may see about 100 of them there. Several hundreds of men, women, and children dressed in traditional costumes coming from all over the country are dancing through the streets. It's a cultural, colorful celebration of Sri Lanka's monumental history and traditions. An extravaganza of drums, fire, dancers, acrobats, performers, and dancing elephants. I was fascinated by the wooden masks in Sri Lanka. They are used in devil dances, in festivals, and even as a way to mock colonial life in early Ceylon. Traditional devil dancing with powerful, hypnotizing music is very energetic and quite amazing. The sound waves travel through your body and resonate with it. This form of vibrational sound therapy enables you to experience the same sensation as physical massage, but without touch. Breathing real fire, the dancers showcase a jaw-dropping spiritual experience. It's a psychiatric treatment to scare off and destroy the evil spirit by the moving flames. And I experienced that at night, when every sparkle of the bright flames was clearly visible in the dark. Standing outside, I could connect deeply with the earth, the energy of the stars, the power and wonder of my own spirit. Choosing to connect, I became the fire, the sparkle, the smoke, the bright light, the earth, the moon, and the sky. What is time? What is space? Aren't they the same thing we call life? What is life? Aren't our thoughts and action create life? Where do these thoughts come from? Does any action cause a reaction? If yes, who is creating my life? And finally, who am I? These are the questions that I've always been wondering about, and the answer came in a message from Buddhist monk in a deep forest of Sri Lanka. He reminded me the wise words of the Buddha. We are what we think, and what we are arise with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. These Buddhist monks left behind all physical pleasures of life to follow the same spiritual path which Siddhartha Gautama took to attain enlightenment and become Buddha. Once a prince of ancient India, he took a spiritual journey to find the cure for all the sufferings of life. He saw that all beings are born only to get sick, then die, and to be born again, only to die again and again and again. He realized that this endless circle, which he described as samsara, has been happening forever. He understood that even the universe eventually will cease to exist, only to reappear once again. Isn't that the same thing that modern science tells us? Just like modern science, Buddhism is entirely based on observation, study, and practice. Buddhism teaches that we are all connected and follow the laws of karma. Basically, it means what goes around comes around. To build good karma and have peace of mind, it is essential to practice virtuous and ethic living. Just be kind to all beings, regardless of your personal gain, and practice non-judgment, acceptance, and love. Buddha said that the cause of our suffering is in our own desires and attachments. Following these teachings of Lord Buddha, the monks practiced deep meditation in the jungle in search of spiritual liberation from our ego, which is the worst of enemies. Meditation is deeply embedded in Buddhism. It has great therapeutic value with its ultimate goal to attain enlightenment or nirvana. Enlightenment is a process of letting go of all attachments and wake up from the dream to spiritual awakening. It's a massive shift in awareness where you become directly conscious of your absolute nature. Nowadays, Buddhism is becoming a popular trend to follow in Western culture, but it has been in Sri Lanka for more than 2,500 years, protected by kings and praised by millions of followers. It's probably most precious gift that Sri Lanka has to share with the world. Being back to Sri Lanka feels like being at home again. Despite many challenges, it has so much beauty and wisdom to share with the world. My heart is filled with gratitude for the chance to uncover the deep knowledge that shaped this amazing country. Sri Lanka made me feel incredibly alive and brought me to where I am now. Just as a child who is genuinely curious to learn about the world beyond my own, I grew up stronger and happier with the experience. Thank you, Sri Lanka. Ayubowan.